He said when somebody get in prison, because he said he was in prison and heard when people get, everybody hear it, the screams, the fighting, everybody hear it.
Puff and Tupac was like a couple, it seemed like to me. It was just a lot of weird going on, you know what I'm saying?
All you gotta do, please play the 17-year-old Tupac, the interview. That's who he was.
Yeah.
He was this innocent, almost, dare I say, somewhat effeminate type of dude, right? Like when you really look at that.
Poor and having this philosophy is worse because, you know, if money was nothing, if there was no money and everything depended on your moral standards and the way that you behaved and the way that you treated people, we'd be millionaires, we'd be rich.
Outlawz member Napoleon is finally setting the record straight on those long-standing rumors that Tupac was violated in prison. Now, a lot of Pac's enemies used this rumor against him, which is so messed up when you think about it, because even if that did happen, it wouldn't reflect negatively on him, but on the men who did that to him. That's called grape, and it doesn't make him any less of a man if he was a victim. But some industry insiders have painted a different picture, alleging that Tupac wasn't forced and that he actually had consensual relations with men. And according to some sources, Tupac's whole gangster persona was an act. They're saying that Pac found a character type that he thought was marketable in the entertainment industry at the time, and he stuck with it. And sadly, it ultimately killed him. But let's separate fact from fiction, because there are so many contradictory stories circulating about Tupac, and everyone wants to act like they know the real Pac. So what exactly did Napoleon reveal about those rumors that Tupac was violated in prison? Is there any evidence out there to support these rumors? Let's break it down.
They was red, like they was straight racist. You know what I mean? Pac told me himself that's the first time a white guy looked at him, one of the prison guards called him the N-word. And he was looking around, but they were straight. So anything, and they hated Pac.
So there's this video of Tupac Shakur that recently popped back up, and it's got everyone talking, and not in the way you'd expect. It has some folks speculating about Tupac's sexuality, claiming that this somehow proves Tupac's womanizer persona was just a marketing gimmick. But others are suggesting that Tupac was a victim of a bigger, more sinister agenda at play in the music industry. They're saying it's part of this creepy, predatory system that's been operating behind the scenes in hip-hop for years. The video shows Tupac when he was just 17, and you'll see he's giving off a completely different vibe than the Pac from the Hit 'em Up era.
I can't hold a job. I just quit my job today, actually, because I wanted to come and do this, and they wouldn't let me. And I felt like it was important, and it was more important than serving pizza, and we had enough people, so I felt like since I'm an actor, they should understand. They should have let me do it, but they didn't. And then I had a cold. So they were making me work in a freezer.
And not only is everyone buzzing about this video, but now it turns out Pac was a theater major at the Baltimore School for the Arts and even did ballet. And of course, the internet trolls couldn't resist pouncing on this, and they were so quick to throw shade, making all of these ignorant homophobic jokes about Pac and claiming his whole thug life persona was a character he played. Someone on X shared a photo that allegedly shows Tupac in a ballet outfit and wrote, "Tupac in his ballet leotard, thug life. Yeah, they're all actors, and you know what else." And then another person went a step further, saying Tim Tupac Shakur was a CIA performance actor with the usual clear ties to Hollywood and the elite. The CIA paid Tupac to promote the gangster rap culture that swept through the 90s like a virus. When Tupac became a liability, possessing knowledge beyond their comfort, they decided to remove him from the world stage and then silence him permanently. The moment you know too much, you become a liability, which makes you a target, and all targets must be eliminated. Another fan also added, "People get really uncomfortable when they find out gangster rap's origins are directly attributable to the CIA. CIA was heavily linked to Death Row, who happened to bail Tupac out with $3 million in startup money from Time Warner, CIA-linked company." Meanwhile, some industry figures have also chimed in on all these theories about the thug life Tupac being a character. One of them is actor Michael J. White, who said Pac was naturally an effeminate man, and he only adopted the tough guy persona after starring in the 1992 crime drama Juice, where he played Bishop, a young criminal who gets drunk on the power that having a gives him.
But now you think about everybody who speaks about Tupac. There's a dichotomy. There's two guys going on. Mm-hmm. All you got to do, please play the 17-year-old Tupac, the interview. That's who he was.
Yeah.
He was this innocent, almost, dare I say, somewhat effeminate type of dude, right? Like when you really look at that interview, he was a very soft person. That's who he was. 2 years later, he plays Bishop. And that character that he created with Bishop influenced millions of people. And he stayed in that character because I literally would see him flip-flop from one character to the other because we would hang out, we'd play pool. And famously, people would say, your friend looks like Tupac. And they didn't think that could be him because he was more like that 17-year-old guy. And a lot of people that really knew him was like, yo, because I always speak the way I speak now. And so he felt very comfortable being that other side around me, that really playful, clowny, kind of like silly type of guy who knows all the Schoolhouse Rock jingles, and then would flip into a different mode around. It's kind of like once he did that Bishop role, that became a much more interesting character for him to play. And I always say it's like if Al Pacino played Scarface and then chose to stay as a Cuban lord to impress Cuban gangsters. Well, he could stay in that character if he wanted to.
But see, there's another side to all this speculation about Tupac's sexuality, and some insiders have alleged that Tupac was turned out, so to speak, by the higher-ups in the industry. Keefe D, who is currently in jail awaiting trial in connection to Tupac's, has even alleged that Tupac and none other than Diddy were acting as a couple and attending these weird industry parties together.
It was just, seemed like Puff and Tupac was like a couple, seemed like to me. It was just a lot of weird going on, you know what I'm saying? The vibes ain't there. I guess that's what Tupac was talking about, the Illuminati. It's like Vivica Fox was with this big gay man. He was 6'9". They called him, his name 6'9". He had the red hair with a big old booty and shit. No, he was gaying them over. What is going on here? It's just a lot of weird shit, you know what I'm saying? That shit, it ain't right. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's what Tupac, I guess he wanted to get up out of the Illuminati or something. But I seen it here. Matter of fact, MC Lyte pulled off with Tanisha Arnold. You know what I'm saying? In her brand new 560, black one. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's some weird ass, Yeah.
And what was Tupac doing at the party, yo?
Him and Puff was there together. They was there, you know what I'm saying? That's why I don't know how they fell out or nothing like that. They was road dogs, you know what I'm saying? They even got pictures of him. He got on that blue sweater with the turtleneck. Him and him hugged up like this with the black hat. Have you ever seen that picture?
Nah, I don't recall, but I'm pretty sure I came across it.
Yeah. That picture there, they was at that party that day. Yeah, it's just like a bunch of weird shit. Oh, fucking, yeah, that's weird, dude. Yeah, bunch of, it ain't right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no gay basher or nothing. I mean, none of that, but that ain't right, you know what I'm saying? That shit, that whole party was weirdoed out. Yeah, and it was Jada Pinkett, but.
You saying the whole party was weird. What did you see at the party that made it weird? I mean, I'm confused.
I guess it was the Illuminati. It's just weird.
Now, we have to take everything Keefe says with a grain of salt because he's been caught more than once spinning tales and exaggerating the truth. Although Keefe wasn't lying about that part about Tupac and Diddy having been cool, here's Pac at Diddy's birthday party in NYC in 1994. And then Diddy's former bodyguard Gene Deal also confirmed that Pac and Diddy were very close before something happened between them and turned them into mortal enemies.
All the people in the industry know at one time Pac and Puff was like this. Do you understand that?
You're right.
Pac and Puff was cool. They was cool enough where they became enemies. Do you understand that? Whatever happened between them two, it made them become enemies of each other.
Now, some sources have speculated that Tupac and Diddy were more than just friends, alleging that Tupac was bisexual and that Diddy got jealous when Tupac started messing with different industry women. But believe it or not, the rabbit hole goes even deeper than that. So there's this lesser-known detail from Tupac's life that almost nobody talks about anymore. And according to this theory, Tupac was blackmailed and forced to play up this gangster rapper persona that was a far cry from his true character. So back in 2011, the FBI released bombshell documents related to the investigation, which described an extortion scheme by the Jewish Defense League, an organization classified by the FBI as a right-wing terrorist group. According to FBI documents, the JDL tried to extort protection money from multiple high-profile rappers like Tupac and Eazy-E and made direct threats against their lives. The unsealed documents specifically state that someone from JDL, whose name was redacted, targeted Tupac Shakur prior to his death in Las Vegas, Nevada. And then, on top of all this, rumors started circulating that whoever was behind this extortion scheme might have also set up Tupac to be violated while he was serving time at Rikers Island. Now, some claimed that this rumor originated with Wendy Williams and accused her of just stirring the pot and spreading unsubstantiated gossip because she had a very public feud with Pac at the time. But there were some other sources who alleged that Wendy was actually telling the truth. Also, John Singleton, a well-known filmmaker who was attached to Tupac's biopic All Eyes on Me but left due to creative differences, reportedly wrote a draft for the movie that included a scene where Tupac was graped in jail. Meanwhile, Tupac's rivals like Mobb Deep and Biggie exploited these rumors for their diss tracks, such as Drop a Gem on 'Em and Long Kiss Goodnight. On Drop a Gem on 'Em, Havoc raps, "Got graped in the island, you officially got. Kick that thuggish, Vibe magazine on some love-ish." And then in verse 2, Prodigy raps, "Rikers Island flashbacks of the house you got scuffed in." As for Biggie Smalls on Long Kiss Goodnight, he said, "Heard through the grapevine you got F'd 4 times. Damn, that 3 to 9 F'd you up for real though." By the way, this song also features an interlude by Diddy, where Diddy says, "You know we just gonna keep doing what we do. We gonna keep effing you up." But Tupac's longtime friend and Outlawz member Napoleon recently appeared on The Art of the Dialogue and dismissed these rumors, claiming that Tupac was the victim of racist propaganda, and he alleged that the whole grape narrative was made up to humiliate Pac even further.
But how do you feel about people spreading the rumor that Tupac got his manhood taken in prison?
It's a lie. It's false. And like you said, that's why I never was out, because you know, like for example, when Pac was locked up, he was locked up in Clinton Correctional Facility with they was red, like they was straight racist. You know what I mean? Pac told me himself that's the first time a white guy looked at him, one of the prison guards called him the N-word. And he was looking around, but they were straight racist. So anything, and they hated Pac. So anything that they could have got to destroy Pac's image from the records, the people behind, the people who run in that prison would have released it. 2, Hassan, which is BG Knockout, a Muslim brother, mashallah. You know BG Knockout. He's Muslim now, and I seen in one of his interviews, he said something that made sense. He did a lot of prison time. He said when somebody getting in prison, because he said he was in prison and heard when people get, everybody hear it, the screams, the fighting, everybody hear it. The rumors started saying that was that person in that cell, that this happened to him. No one who was locked up with Pac said this. No one was locked up. Even his enemies, even people that was in prison who didn't like Pac, who might be home now and have access to the internet, nobody never said that. You understand? Nobody had proof, meaning it never happened. The first person that spreaded those rumors was Wendy Williams. And we remember when she spread it on one of her radio shows, and then it started going. Nobody have that. You know what I mean? And I think they trying to say that somebody was talking to Suge and they was like, we moved this out of a movie, out of the scene of a movie, because, you know, they said something that I don't want to repeat about Pac moms. And then they said something about Pac. Yeah, and then Suge was like, but, you know, you have to have the something. He said, like, you have to be a real story in order to, bruh, Suge would never say, and that Pac got in prison, because Suge know it's not true. You know what I mean? Suge know it's not true. So what happened, he might have said that and they twisting it because of their hatred for Pac and they want to make it seem like that. But bro, it never happened. I'm just going to be honest. You know what I mean? It never happened. We visit Pac, you know, from the time that Pac was locked up. I don't know if it was a complete year. But he always had visitors. Never seen a scratch on him. Knew people that was locked up with him. Never heard of it. So this is just people trying to do dirt on the name of a person who's not here to defend himself. And you got to ask, like, this person been dead for almost, 30 years? And you would take your time to spread stuff that it's no facts behind it. Like, you don't have no facts about it. Because anybody that said they have facts, bro, we living in a time that a person who knows this and have some facts, they would have sold it to TMZ to get some money. You understand? Nobody that worked in the prison released anything and said anything that happened. None of Pac's enemies, nobody was locked up. It never happened, bro. You know what I mean? Never happened.
But some fans are saying that Napoleon is probably biased and overly protective of Tupac's legacy. But as many fans have pointed out, if something horrible like that really happened to Tupac in prison, it wouldn't diminish his legacy at all. One fan said, "Listen, I love Tupac, but I 100% believe it happened to him. He was good looking, with feminine features, had a big mouth, and was short AF, and had status. The guards hated him too. That's all the reasoning to believe this happened to him. Even well-known dudes from that era have alluded to it. Tupac's words were so powerful that he could make the weakest minds believe he could survive a whole clip from an AK-47. The fact is, it's a damn shame, but it's entirely likely it happened. It doesn't take from him and makes it completely understandable the way he acted like he did when he came out. Oh, and just to peep facts even more, did anyone ever see his pants sag again in 95, 96, like the early days after he got out? Just saying." And another fan added, "Anyone can get overpowered, and grape is not the victim's fault. Not sure why or what the point of that discussion is." But let's hear your thoughts on all these rumors and speculations surrounding Tupac. And let's not focus on his sexuality, because that's the least interesting thing about him. I want to hear what you think about those reports that Tupac was allegedly being extorted by the higher-ups in the industry and forced to play this gangster character. Drop your comments below, and don't miss out on this next video.